So hello everyone, we are going to start with the chemistry CBSE 2024 paper, right? Whatever be the question that has been previously asked in chemistry, that we are going to say in today's session, right? So now see here, first of all we are going to see the marks distribution, that chemical reaction and equation 2020, which guys, you are not going to focusing much in this chapter. So see here, 6 marks question has been asked in 2020, 2021 3 marks, 2022 6 marks question has been asked, and 2023 7, and 2024 8 marks questions were from chemical reactions and equation. Similarly, you can see acid, base and salts, 8 marks, 4 marks, 9 marks, 5 marks, 5 marks. Metal and non-metal, 5, 5, 7, 6, 7, good weightage is there from metal, non-metal. And carbon and its compound, which is, so many students are facing problem in this chapter, see here. So 5, 6, 9, 11, 6. So today we are going to discuss all the questions that has been asked previously in these chapters. I hope you will be able to analyze that how these questions are coming and how we can solve these questions, right? So in the last duration also, you can prepare yourself and you can score good marks in your board exam. So revise thoroughly from these chapters, you will get good marks now. So you can see the data that 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, these are the questions that, these are the marks analysis that we have seen just before only, and it has been only in the graphical representation. Now, see, very first question goes to you is what? When 2 ml of sodium hydroxide solution is added to few piece of granulated zinc in a test tube, then warmed, the reaction that occurs for sodium hydroxide, NaOH, right? Now, is added to few piece of zinc. So see here, which option? All option we are having sodium hydroxide and zinc. Now, it has been asked that can be written in the form of balanced chemical equation. So try to find the balanced chemical equation. See here, NaOH, Zn. So here one Na is there, here also Na is there, OH and Zn. See here, one Zn, Zn. Now, OH is what? One hydrogen is there, two hydrogen is there. So this option will be wrong. Second question, 2 NaOH plus Zn. So here we are having what? 2H, 2H. Zn is what? One Zn is there, another Zn is there. 2 Na is there, here 2 Na is there. So oxygen, 2 oxygen is there, here 2 oxygen is there. I think we are having this option as a correct. Now third option we can change. First check the third option. What is the third option? 2 Na. So Na is 1 there. So this is in the starting only we are getting what? This is wrong option. Why? Because Na is 1, here Na is 2. Now fourth option is what? 2 Na is there, 2 Na is there, right? And zinc, one zinc is there, another one zinc is there. Now hydrogen here, 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. But oxygen, see here, 1 oxygen, 2 oxygen is there, here we are having 3 oxygen. So this option is also wrong. So second option is correct. So 2 NaOH plus Zn will give what? Na2ZnO2 plus H2. So now second question is what? Select from the following a decomposition reaction in which source of energy for decomposition is light. So decomposition reaction, what is decomposition reaction? See guys, when one compound breaks into simpler substances or component and different components, right? So FeSO4 is there, Fe2O3 is there, SO2SO3 is there. So this is also an example of that is decomposition reaction. But we need to find what? We have to check this, we have to underline this light. For light, in case of light, this will be the right option. That is what? 2AgBr will give you what? 2Ag plus Br2. See the explanation of this question is what? Photochemical decomposition is a breakdown that uses light as its energy source. So the third option will be correct. Now, third question is what? MnO2 plus 4HCl gives what? MnCl2 plus 2H2O plus Cl2. The reaction given above is redox reaction because in this case, MnO2 is oxidized and HCl is reduced. Second option is what? HCl is oxidized. Third option is what? MnO2 is reduced. MnO2 is reduced and HCl is oxidized. So what will be the right option for this question? How we can find the oxidation and reduction, how these are oxidized or reduced, that we have to see. See here, MnO2 is there, here we are getting what? MnCl2, right? And HCl, For HCl, if you will go to see, HCl, 4 HCl is there, and we are getting what? Cl2 in this case. So we have to check that which one is oxidized and which one is reduced. So for this we can see here, the reaction given is a redox reaction, and in this form MnO2 is reduced and HCl is oxidized. So HCl is oxidized. MnO2, that is what? Manganese oxidized from 4 to 2 in MnCl2. How this has been oxidized? See here guys. If we will see manganese, MnO2, the oxidation state of oxygen is what? If we will take Mn as a X and O2, we know that for oxygen, for one oxygen, the oxidation number is what? -2. So -2 plus -2 into 2 equals to what? -2 into 2, that will be equals to what? X will be equals to, this will be equals to 0. So -2, it will be what? X will become 4. So X 4. Now MnO2, that is what? +4. Now it has been, see here, MnO2 manganese oxidized from +4 to +2 in MnCl2. So in this case, what has been happened? So the decrease in oxidation state signifies that manganese is reduced, that is gains electron. HCl chlorine transition from oxidation state of -1 to 0. So in Cl2. So it means what? This increase the oxidation state signifies chlorine is oxidized, loses electrons. Now, name the type of chemical reaction in which calcium oxide react with water. Justify your answer by giving balanced chemical equation for the chemical reaction. See, it has been asked what? Name the type of chemical reaction in which calcium oxide, that is what? CaO, reacts with what? Water, and you have to give what it has been react with. It is reacting with what? Water. See here. So when calcium oxide, that is CaO, reacts with water, it undergoes a chemical reaction known as what? Hydration. And the type of reaction is what? Combination reaction. We have read combination reaction, decomposition reaction, that is combination reaction. So now we have to see what the balanced chemical reaction, that is what? CaO plus H2O will give you what? CaOH2, calcium hydroxide plus heat. Got it? Now, so in this reaction, water is added to calcium oxide, resulting in the formation of calcium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice. See, the next question is what? Write one chemical equation, each of the chemical reaction which in which the following have taken place. See here, change in color, change in temperature, formation of precipitate. Mention color change, temperature, rise or fall, compound precipitate along with the equation. So change in color, see here guys, for change in color we have what? The reaction between iron and copper sulfate changes the blue color of copper sulfate to a pale green. See here, iron, here there will be what? Fe plus CuSO4 is there. So we are getting what? FeSO4 plus U, this is a displacement reaction. And we have got what? Copper sulfate, that is what? Blue in color. Now we are getting what? Pale green color, right? This is example of, you can say, the displacement reaction also. Higher reactive element will replace the lower reactive element. Now, the second part is what? Methane will react with O2, will give what? Heat, CO2 plus H2O plus heat. That is what? The example of combustion reaction in which heat is produced. So the second part is clear here. Now the third part is what? See, PbNO3 plus 2Ki will give what? PbI2 plus 2KNO3, that is yellow. In this case, lead iodide is formed as a yellow precipitate, indicating change in color and solid formation. So we have seen that all three portion of this question. Now next, consider the following compound: FeSO4, CuSO4, CaSO4, Na2CO3. The compounds having the maximum number of water of crystallization in its crystal form in one molecule is, guys, we are knowing Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. So this is the D option will be the right option for this. For FeSO4, CuSO4, CaSO4, we will see that how much they are having the water of crystallization. See here, the compound having the maximum number of water of crystallization is in its crystal form in one molecule is Na2CO3. The others have 752, that is FeSO4 dot 7H2O, CuSO4 dot 5H2O, CaSO4 dot 2H2O, right? Next is what? but Na2CO3, that is what, hydrated sodium carbonate, has the largest, that is concentration of water molecule in its crystalline structure, that is 10 molecule, that is Na2CO3.10H2O. Now, next is what? In the assertion reason, hydrogen gas is not evolved when zinc reacts with nitric acid, right? Nitric reason is what? Nitric acid oxidizes the hydrogen gas produced to water and itself get reduced. So, how we can correct this question? Hydrogen gas is not evolved when zinc reacts with nitric acid, right? HNO3. Nitric acid oxidizes the hydrogen gas produced water and itself get reduced. See here, the 4 option is what? Both assertion and reason is correct. A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true, but R is false. A is false, but R is true. C option here. Both assertion and reason are true. R is the correct explanation of A. So the option goes to A, right? Zinc reaction with nitric acid does not produce what? Hydrogen gas, due to the latest strong oxidizing properties, right? Now, it works as a strong oxidizing agent, converting hydrogen gas created during the reaction to water. As a result, free hydrogen gas is detected in the procedure. Now, the pH of a sample of tomato juice is 4.6. How is this juice likely to be in test? Give reason to justify your answer. First of all, if the pH is 4.6, right? So it must be sour in taste and it is acidic in nature. How do we differentiate between the strong acid and a weak base in terms of ions formation in equation solutions? See here. Second part is what? How do we differentiate between the strong acid and a weak base? Strong acid will give the H plus ion concentration, more H plus ion concentration, and in the form, because it has been asked in form of what? The ions forms. OH minus ions will form less in case of weak base, and the acid rain can make the survival of the aquatic animals difficult. How? See, it will destroy the aquatic animals because the pH of the system will decrease and the acidic nature will increase. So see here, what are the answers of this question? The pH of tomato juice is 4.6, which classifies it is as slightly acidic. The taste of juice is likely to be tangy or slightly sour, right? This is because acidic substance generally have a sour taste and pH value of 4.6 indicates the mild acidity, right? Now, differentiating between strong acid, that is more H plus ion, weak base, less OH minus ion concentration will be there, right? So, acid ionizes completely in water, forming a high concentration of H plus ion, while weak base partially ionizes, leading to lower concentration of hydroxide ions, OH minus ion. The distinguished factor lies in the type and extent of ionization. Now, next is what? Acid rain. I have told you that as these are the mixture of SO2, NO2, and in this case the pH will decrease and it will harm the aquatic life, right? It can harm fish, amphibians and other aquatic organisms, impacting their reproductive, feeding and respiratory processes. Now, the next question is what? A metal and non-metal that exist in liquid state at room temperature are respectively. So, one is metal and another is what? Non-metal. So, bromine, that is what? That is not a metal. Mercury, so we are this is also not a metal, iodine, non-metal. So we are having options from these two parts. That is what? For mercury and iodine is also a non-metal, but this is not the right option. We are having what? Metal and non-metal that exist in liquid state at the room temperature are respectively mercury and bromine is the right option for this question. So mercury being metal and bromine being non-metal exist in liquid state at room temperature. So these are the two metal and non-metal that are existing at room temperature in a liquid state. Now, oxides of aluminum and zinc are, that is amphoteric guys, because they are having the property of both acidic and basic character. So oxides of aluminum and zinc are amphoteric. The oxides which behave both acidic and basic character are called what? Amphoteric. Next question is what? The metals produced by various reduction processes are not very pure. They contain impure which must be removed to obtain pure metals. The most widely used method for refining impure metal is electrolytic refining. Now, what is the cathode and anode in the refining of copper by this process? Name the solution used in the above process and write its formula. How copper gets refined when electric current is passed in the electrolytic cell. See here. So, very first question is what? In the electrolytic refining of copper, the anode is made up of impure copper, right? Anode will be of impure copper and cathode will be of pure copper, right? Refined at the cathode is made up of a pure copper sheet, right? During electrolysis, the process copper from the impure anode is deposited on the pure copper, right? Now, cathode. Impurities from the anode settle as anode mud or sludge. That is what? Sludge is what? That is impure. At the bottom, this will be at the bottom side of the container. Now, the solution used in the electrolytic refining of copper is typically acidified copper sulfate solution, that is CuSO4. Now, the third part of this question is what? In the electrolytic cell, when electric current is passed, copper ion Cu2 plus from the copper sulfate solution migrate towards the cathode. It will migrate towards the copper, that is impure copper. At cathode, each copper ion gains 2 electrons and is reduced to form solid copper Cu, which is deposited on the cathode. The impurities represent in the original copper and settle at the bottom of the electrolytic cell as anode mud or sludge. The overall reaction we can see here, that is what? Reduction at cathode, Cu2 plus 2 electron will give you what? Cu. And at anode, copper from the anode is oxidized to copper ions. Now, oxidation at anode impure copper, Cu will give what? Cu2 plus 2 electron. So, it will be what? The net result is the transfer of copper from the impure cathode to pure anode, leading to the purification of copper in the electrolytic cell. You have two beakers A and B containing copper sulfate solution. What would you observe after about 2 hours if you dip a strip of zinc in beaker A and a strip of silver in the beaker B? Give reason for your observation in each case. See, this is question from the reactivity series, guys. So, the more will be the reactive, it will displace the another. If reactivity will be less, then there will be no any change in there. See here, beaker A, zinc. Observation is what? Zinc strip is in beaker A will show signs corrosion and color of the solution will change, right? Now, why this is the see, we can have the zinc is more reactive, as I have told you earlier just that zinc is more reactive, that's why. So, it will change. When a strip of zinc is dipped into a copper sulfate solution, a displacement reaction will occur here. So, due to displacement, there will be a change in the color will be there. Now, the zinc undergoes oxidation and copper ions in these solutions reduced to form solid copper. The reaction can be represented as, you can see here, Zn plus USO4, ZnSO4 plus U. This is what the displacement reaction is there. But in the last case, there will be no any change. See here. Solid copper will either settle at the bottom or get deposited on the zinc strip of the solution will turn blue due to the presence of copper ions. The solution turns colorless as Cu2 plus ions are replaced by Zn plus 2 ion. See here, beaker B silver strip, there will be no change. So, there will be no significant change in the appearance of the silver strip and the color of the solution will remain unchanged. So, there will be no change in the color. Now, the next question is what? Carbon compounds are good conductor of electricity, are bad conductor of electricity, have strong forces of attraction between their molecules, have weak forces of attraction between their molecules. See guys, are good conductor of electricity? No. Are bad conductor of electricity? Yes. Have strong forces? No. Have weak forces of attraction between their molecules? Yes. So, out of these 4, which one is correct? So, 2 and 4 are correct. So, 2 and 4 is there in which option. So we have to check that. 1 and 2 wrong, 2 and 3 wrong, 2 and 4 C option is correct. So D will be also wrong. So correct option is C. Carbon forms a covalent bond molecules which are seen to have strong bonds within the molecule but intermolecular force are weak. Now next is what? Define a homologous series of carbon compound. We know that what are homologous series? There will be a difference of CH2, right? Why the melting point of why the melting and boiling point of C4H8 higher than that of C3H6 or C2H4? Why do we not see gradation in chemical properties of homologous compound? Write the name and structure of aldehyde and ketone with the molecular formula C3H6. Oh, now homologous series, we know that what are homologous series? See guys, a homologous series of a carbon compound is a group of organic compound sharing a common functional group and exhibiting a consistent structural pattern. Members in the series have similar chemical properties, constant chemical increment, usually CH2. That is what CH2, there will be a difference of CH2 from one molecule to another molecule of the same compounds or of the same functional group. Gradual increase in the molecular size and complexity. Examples: alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, right? So we can find that how this will be changing. Let's suppose we are having 3 carbon chain, right? This is what propane. If you will go to butane, so you can see here how many carbon and hydrogen are there. C3, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 8. C3H8 is there, and here C4H10 will be there. So there is a difference of what? CH2 molecule. Now next, melting and boiling point of C4H8, butane is higher than C3H6. Why? Because propane is a smaller molecule than butane. So higher the molecular size, more will be the melting and boiling point. Getting my point? Now the third part of this question is what we have to form aldehyde and ketone from propane from 3 carbons. So chemical properties within the homologous series remains consistent due to the presence of common functional group. This share the characteristics impart similar chemical behavior. Now we have to find what the third part of this question was. What we have to find the aldehyde. See, aldehyde, we know that 3-membered aldehyde, that is what propanol will be of. This will be the 3-membered aldehyde, that is what propanol, and 3-membered, that is 3 carbon ketone will be there. So it will be what? Propanone. So this is what? Aldehyde, propanol, and this is what? Ketone, that is propanone. Now next question is what? Write the name and the structure of organic compound X in having 2 carbon atoms in its molecule and its name is suffixed with OL, that is alcohol, guys. So now to write the name and structure of the organic compound X having 2 carbon atoms. 2 carbon atom is what? This, and its molecule, and it named is suffixed with OL. So OH will be there. So the name of this compound will be what? Ethanol. 2 carbon member is there, so it is what? Ethanol. Now, what happens when X is heated with excess concentrated sulfuric acid at 443 Kelvin temperature? Write chemical equation for the reaction, starting the condition for the reaction. Also state the role played by the concentrated sulfuric acid in this reaction. So what will happen in this case? When alcohol will react with sulfuric acid, so what will happen? There will be a formation of alkene will be there. See here. So when ethyl alcohol is heated with excess concentrated sulfuric acid H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin temperature, it undergoes dehydration to form ethylene, that is C2H4. The chemical reaction is what? C3CH3CH2OH in the presence of what? Concentrated H2SO4, we will get what? C2H4, this is what? Alkene, that is ethene. Now, the concentrated sulfuric acid act as a dehydrating agent, that is removing the water from the reaction. Now, the third part of this question is what? We have to make the electronic dot structure of the molecule form, that is what? Alkene. So, we can see here carbon is having what? 4 electrons in its outermost, and hydrogen, see here, hydrogen will be there. So, we can have what? This will be the electronic dot structure of what? Carbon. And here, as carbon is having 4 electrons in its outermost, so there will be 2 electrons of this carbon and this carbon will be there. So, this will be the representation of what? The ethylene molecule, or we can say ethene molecule. So, in this structure, carbon forms a double bond. So, we can say that there is what? Double bond will be there between carbon and carbon. This dot represents the valence electron and the lines represent the bond between the atoms. Got it? Now, so with this, we have completed all the questions that has been asked in the 2024 question paper, guys. So, I hope you will you will do these questions, and you will prepare well before your exam, and wish you good luck for your upcoming exam. Thank you so much.